Let's talk March Madness.
Let's do it.
This past weekend, the Sweet 16 and Elite Games were played, and they were all thrilling games in typical March fashion. Vince, take it away.
There you go. Thanks, Alexa. Let's get right into the action. We will take it to the South region to start because it was upset city. Number 1 Alabama was stunned by 5 seed San Diego State 71-64. SDSU forward Darian Trammell showcased a dominant defensive performance to help his Aztecs knock the Tide out of the tournament in the Sweet 16. Creighton ended fan favorite Princeton's historic run and advanced to play San Diego State in the Elite Eight. That game was so close, all 40 minutes, but due to a shooting foul called with 1.2 seconds left and one very clutch free throw that followed, the San Diego State Aztecs beat Creighton 57-56 to advance to the Final Four. To the East region, Michigan State versus Kansas State was a Madison Square Garden instant classic. Marquise Noel broke the NCAA tournament record for assists in a game with 19, his last 2 on spectacular passes in the last minute of overtime, and Kansas State went on to beat Michigan State 98-93. Who would they face? The Florida Atlantic Owls. After beating Tennessee 62-55 in a nail-biter, the Owls met the Wildcats in the Elite Eight. Elijah Martin and FAU withstood another huge game by Marquise Noel and brushed off a deficit in the final 8 minutes to beat Kansas State 79-76 on Saturday night. On to the Midwest. The last number 1 seed that made their exit in the Sweet 16 as number 5 seed Miami knocked out number 1 Houston 89-75 in a battle that was controlled by the Hurricanes for the majority of the contest. 2-seeded Texas advanced over 3-seeded Xavier by 12 points, which lined up a Texas versus Miami matchup in the Elite Eight. Jordan Miller rallied his Miami Hurricanes from a 13-point second-half deficit for an 88-81 victory over Texas that clinched Jim Larrañaga his long-awaited return to the Final Four. Last, but certainly not least, the West region. Knocking out the last standing SEC team was 4-seed UConn as they put the hammer down 88-65 on Arkansas, and then the Sweet 16 nightcap game between Gonzaga and UCLA was a West Coast game for the ages. As an answer to a 3-pointer by UCLA's Amari Bailey, Gonzaga's Julian Strother sunk a 3-ball with 7.2 seconds remaining, which lifted the Bulldogs to a wild 79-76 win over the Bruins. The UConn versus Gonzaga Elite Eight game was a highly anticipated one, but it didn't play out as competitive as many believed it would. UConn routed Gonzaga 82-54 for the Huskies' first Final Four trip in 9 years. The Final Four is set for Saturday. Who could have predicted this one? 8-seed Florida Atlantic versus 5-seed San Diego State at 5 p.m. and then 5-seed Miami versus 4-seed UConn at 7:50. It is going to be a blast. Alexa, you got a perfect bracket still or what?
I'm hoping. I'm really thinking that UConn's got this in the bag.
There you go. That's that North in you.
Yeah, it is. It is.